Welcome to 99th Monkey Liberty News for Tuesday, February 11th, 2014. I am beginning today with a reference to the day we fight back, and there are a lot of tweets going out today about this, and there is a hashtag on Twitter that is the day we fight back. And here's a little explanation on Tumblr. Last month, Tumblr took a decisive step toward transparency, and today we are asking that our government do the same. We're standing with our colleagues from across the web to demand transparency and accountability around laws concerning privacy. Today is the day we fight back against unfettered surveillance. We hope you'll join us. And of course that is today, and you can change your Facebook image, you can pick up this hashtag on Twitter, and just tell people, affirm to people that you don't like being spied on by the NSA. From WorldNet Daily is an article, Smoking Gun in IRS Political Targeting. And there's some information that absolutely confirms that a leftist group paid to review the right, and conservatives were organized by the IRS, and we know all about that, right? And actually, here WorldNet Daily has a lot of related stories. If you want to pick up more information about this, there certainly are a lot of resources here. But this opening paragraph, Washington, though President Obama insists the Internal Revenue Service is guilty of the targeting of nonprofits, WorldNet Daily has learned the agency contracts with an avowedly progressive organization supported by George Soros to process data filed by smaller tax-exempt groups. So, as the headline reads, this is a smoking gun. From Steve Pieczenik's blog is an article about Edward Snowden. Edward Snowden, spy or whistleblower? Neither. He is a manufactured avatar of the American intelligence community. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that his information is not good or anything of that nature. As much as anything, this is probably evidence of a war being fought within the intelligence community. And we are told that there are white hats and who are trying to do good for the American people, and others who do not wear white hats, who are not trying to do good for the American people, but who are trying to further an agenda that benefits their elite masters. So this struggle is continually going on, and we're all aware of it. And at times, I think, we're all intended to be pawns. Even people in the liberty movement are used many times as pawns to spread false information and to cause conflicts, controversies among ourselves, and harm the cause of liberty. So it's really crucial for all of us to be wise as serpents and innocent as doves as we process information. From Dutch Sense, winter 2014, elevated levels of radiation, 69.2 ppm in the snow, St. Louis, Missouri. And Dutch Sense has a photo of the Geiger counters here. And it's, there is no question. I believe that something like 150 ppm is considered dangerous, but certainly this is very much elevated. There is a website that shows the results of Geiger counters around the country that report continually. And I first looked at it shortly after Fukushima, certainly before any of the radiation came here. For much of the country at that time, radiation was in the single digits, CPM, and some, 11 or 12 was high. There might have, occasionally been a 20. At this point, looking at that map, virtually every place has double CPMs in the double digits, and many places have up to 60. Colorado frequently has 60 and above. And there certainly is a concern here, and you certainly, if you have children, I'm not sure that I would probably not let them play in this snow. It's wonderful, amazing to run around outside and play in the snow, but especially if you live in St. Louis, that's not a good idea. And you might want to check in your area to find out what the radiation levels are in the snow, if you have snow. And this probably is related to Fukushima, but really, who knows? And I have another article about toxins being released. And this is kind of related in my mind to the toxins that were released a few weeks ago in West Virginia. From CNN, spill spews tons of coal ash into North Carolina River. And one reason there are a couple of reasons I see this as related, actually. Because as I mentioned before, I believe that they're releasing toxins in pristine areas to force people away from the pristine areas to enforce Agenda 21, to make it easier to enforce Agenda 21. Now, to anyone who can think clearly, releasing toxins into a pristine area in order to protect that pristine area is extremely poor logic. But, that is just an example of how twisted these people are, the cabal, the Illuminati, how twisted they are, how twisted their thoughts are, and how the true motivation behind what they do is to kill, steal, and destroy, which is the ultimate description of the MO of their master, who is the fallen angel Lucifer, who's now referred to as the devil or Satan. He has come to kill, steal, and destroy. Jesus told us that. Jesus said, the devil only comes to kill, steal, and destroy, but I come that they might have life, and that more abundantly. So if you have made any kind of a pact with the devil, believing that you will receive some kind of a reward, remember, he only comes to kill, steal, and destroy. And you may have carrots dangled in front of you. You may feel as if to some extent, you're the cat who swallowed the canary. But any commitment that you've made is going to catch up with you, and he will do to you what he does to everything around him, which is kill, steal, and destroy. But since I'm on the topic of North Carolina here, and kind of referring back to what I said about Steve Pieczenik's post and about how they're trying to create division and confusion in the ranks. This article from Salon, thousands protest North Carolina GOP policies in Moral March. An estimated 80,000 to 100,000 rallied for labor, immigration, LGBT, and abortion rights. So, this is not what most people who are listening to this video, watching this video, would probably not consider this a moral march, because the issues are very muddied, because they have included, LGBT and abortion rights. Now, strict libertarians don't believe that anyone should be told how to live their personal life, although strict libertarians who believe in common law generally believe that abortion does breach the do no harm frame of reference for decision making. But they're actually, scrolling through this article, they do have some concerns that many of us would share. One of which certainly is that this administration in North Carolina has slashed taxes for the top 5% while raising taxes on the bottom 95%. And sadly, we can probably almost anticipate that if and when we organize protests, we will have this kind of muddied approach that, it's something that comes from the grassroots, can be infiltrated and divided and have the message watered down or muddied. So I think this is something that we probably all should be aware of, just as we move forward, that what one person considers moral is not necessarily what another person considers moral. And if we can boil down some of these issues to the idea that there is an elite class who are trying to control and manipulate and ultimately kill us, the rest of us, then I think most people can certainly find a common goal and a common message to bring to any protests. So just something to be aware of. And I'm going to change gears and talk a little bit about the European Union. Zero Hedge has this tweet: EU says it expects Switzerland to honor obligations, that is, crush democracy and ignore the will of the majority. And certainly the EU has become rather adept at doing those very things. And from Mercy Triumphs, Fritz Springmeier has written The Real Truth About the EU. And in this blog, he exposes many of the fallacies that most Americans have come to believe about the EU. And if we can just become aware here of who the EU really is, that's just another level of wisdom and intelligence that we can have. Here from Zero Hedge: why are so many people renouncing American citizenship? And this article is just about how many Americans are leaving the country. And this paragraph: personally, I have a number of friends that have made the very hard decision to relocate their families thousands of miles away because they see what is coming to America and they believe that there isn't any hope of turning things around at this point. I also have a lot of friends that are determined to stay in the United States no matter what. And if you noticed in Fritz Springmeier's post about Hillary yesterday, that I mentioned yesterday, Fritz wrote that if Hillary becomes president, it's probably time to sell out and leave the country. That would be a very tragic occurrence in my way of thinking. And I don't believe in throwing in the towel at this point. I don't want to give up on this country. And sometimes in writing and speaking about some of these issues, I think that many people who are in alternative media have a tone of that expresses inevitability, that some of these things are going to happen no matter what. I just can't live that way. To me, while there's life, there's hope. And I just want to, for Christians, here's this little bit of encouragement that I think that we sometimes tend to forget. And certainly I don't think that we can lose hope. If there's anything that is, directly from the heart of God in the Bible, you can question translations, whatever you want. But I think most people agree that Jesus communicated this prayer that he recommended, and that this is from the heart of God. And the entire prayer, I'll read just up until the part that I want to talk about, but the entire prayer is certainly something that can lift us every day and call us up to a higher place, to live, to see the world from a higher place, to live as people who are more closely akin to our Creator. Our Father who is in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. God doesn't tell us to ask for things that He's not willing to give us. This isn't a tease. This is actually what He wants to have occur. And by our asking for it, we are engaging our free will to agree with His will. And in heaven, His kingdom will come. His will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And that is not something for someday. That is something for now. And certainly when we ask for this, we bring it into the realm that we inhabit with our little, our heart area, which is the vibrations from our heart extend 11 to 12 feet around us. So certainly when we are in agreement with what God wants here, that His will be done and that His kingdom come, we can release that in our heart area. That's, that vibration 11 to 12 feet around us. And as more of us become into agreement with this, that His kingdom come, His will be done, and more of us fill up our heart area, vibration area with this, scales can be tipped and things can change. There can be an awakening, there can be a revival, there can be a renaissance. And I'm closing with this. I actually came to the 10th Amendment Center to find information about the standing together to oppose the NSA today. I did not find that. But this was so uplifting that I just wanted to share this as the final link of the day. If you visit 10thamendmentcenter.com, and this is the 10ther blog, you can see how all these people in all these states are taking steps to oppose tyranny and to restore justice, liberty, and justice for all. So now if we can all become agreed upon these kinds of things, I think that maybe it's a good sign that the people in North Carolina are having a protest, even if they're not completely clear on the issues that we all believe are crucial. As more people are out there, and if we attend maybe some of these protests as they spring up, and help make people aware of what's really going on, maybe even take a little bit of literature with you and pass it out, and be ready to explain to people, no, did you know this is what's behind these issues that you're protesting. And if we can get more people behind these kind of thrusts to nullify and to promote states' rights in a way that opposes tyranny and promotes liberty and justice for all, we can get ahead. Thank you for tuning in for today's 99th Monkey Liberty News on February 11th, which happens to be Alex Jones's birthday. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Hoping that you will love one another, take care, and insist on liberty.